So my name is Tudor Stanciu. I am currently the Strategy and Partnerships Manager of Fintech Camp, and also the co-lead for the Bucharest Chapter of Fintech Camp. Fintech Camp is a network of grassroots local communities focused on fintech, which are being organized and set up meetups, workshops, panels, and so on in various cities in Romania, but also outside of Romania, in Hungary, in Germany, Croatia, and Moldova. I started getting in touch with fintech back in 2016, where I was part of an organizing team that ran, which I think were the first two hackathons focused on fintech in Romania. And currently, through Fintech Camp, I'm trying, along with the other people in the team and other chapter leaders, to bring more people into fintech through the events that we run. I think it was, let's say, a fortunate event. I got in touch with fintech both from the perspective of the hackathons, which we organized in 2016, but also taking into account my other background, which is as a lawyer, currently also working and consulting some tech companies, out of which some of them are connected or are active in the fintech space. And I've seen that fintech is, at least it's seen as a very regulated space because we're talking about financial services, and there are a lot of regulations and a lot of compliance that you need to do in order to operate in this space. And I find it very challenging, at least when you're an entrepreneur or a tech founder, which maybe is coming from another field and has other experiences running other types of products. When you come into fintech, you have this added element of understanding how the financial services industry works, what are its constraints. So, aside from the fact that it was basically a fortunate event, being in the right place at the right time, it also comes from a personal interest of understanding the regulatory aspect, and understanding the regulatory aspect helps in basically bridging the gap that happens sometimes between, let's say, tech people or people coming from the traditional tech industry and the financial industry, and basically creating this bridge of discussion between the two parties. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think from a personal perspective are some ways and some areas that can end up bringing more people into at least understanding what fintech is about. One of them is investing in alternative assets. Let's call them retail investing. What is happening through platforms as eToro, eShares, but also more importantly, what is happening through equity crowdfunding platforms such as Seeders, Crowdcube, and so on. There's a lot of activity in this space, and I think because they're focused on bringing more people and allowing more people to invest in some of the most interesting asset classes which are currently available, by lowering the threshold for investing for such individuals. I think this is going to lead to more people really understanding the value of investment, the value of the financial world, and how they can get involved. Because if you also have some skin in the game as a retail investor, you might also get a little bit more interested in how the back-end infrastructure and what is happening until you receive this opportunity to invest happens. And another space which I think is really interesting is the space of insurance technology as a niche of fintech, because as we have access to more technologies that can help us basically put some circumstances and put some criteria and take into account all the criteria which is involved in creating an insurance policy for someone who is looking to get a certain asset insured. All these traits, all these things are going to basically allow people to have access to more granular types of insurances, and basically pay a fairer price for the insurance that they're getting. And I think this is facilitated by the fact that there are a lot of data points regarding how we use our car or how we use our house or other assets that we're able to insure. So I'm also looking forward to see how things are going to evolve in this space. So there are lots of sources that focus on let's say, the business side of things. There are things like CB Insights or Finimize or Morning Brew, which are daily newsletters that provide insights in not only the financial services sector, but business and investing in general, that can help you at least make you understand how various assets in this space, be them traditional currency or shares and stocks in companies or other types of commodities, work. So you can understand a little bit about the incoming and outgoing flows of money on the markets. And specifically for fintech, there are a couple of blogs and platforms which I find really interesting. Daily Fintech is one of them. Finance Magnates that can also help a little bit in understanding the ecosystem. Awkwardly enough, there aren't that many fintech-oriented blogs or news sources that are particularly focused only on fintech. But I think out of the ones that I mentioned, you can get a good sense of what is happening in fintech, both in terms of what startups are doing, but also what big companies and corporates are looking at when discussing about fintech.